episode opens with a historical account detailing the original battle against the Whispered One centuries ago. A powerful sorcerer challenged the gods themselves, forcing the prime deities to send champions to stop him. In a cavern where mystical ley lines intersected, these champions created an arcane siphon powered by divine magic and the souls of the fallen. The siphon weakened the sorcerer enough for a divine weapon of truth to strike him. Even that wasn't enough. The Whispered One had become too powerful to kill. Left with no other option, the champions sacrificed themselves to imprison him within the desolate prison realm of Thar Emphala. Afterwards, all records of the conflict were destroyed, leaving behind only a single scroll and a scar of necrotic crystal. Back in the present, Vox Machina tries to learn more from the ancient document. Unfortunately, the magical potion allowing Grog to read it wears off before he can finish. They're left with more questions than answers. What exactly is the Whispered One's weakness? Who are these champions? Despite the setbacks, Keyleth remains focused on the most important revelation. The mysterious orb is actually a gateway tied to the Whispered One's prison. Percy believes he may have a way to disable it, and the group decides to return to Whitestone. Pike reveals that she and Grog have their own lead to follow. During one of her visions, Pike saw one of the ancient champions and noticed she looked remarkably like her. Curious whether she could be an ancestor, she decides to investigate. Pike and Grog travel back to Westruun, where they're greeted by Pike's grandfather Wilhand Trickfoot. Wilhand is now older and frailer, though still energetic enough to get himself into trouble climbing rooftops. He has also found companionship in Louisa, and the two flirt with one another to the horror and amusement of Pike and Grog. As they share a meal together, Wilhand explains how Westruun has been rebuilding since the dragon attacks. The city leaders abandoned much of the reconstruction effort, leaving ordinary citizens to fend for themselves. A new religious leader named Shepherd Gideon stepped in and united the community, organizing volunteers and helping rebuild the city. Pike feels guilty for having been absent during so much of the recovery effort, but Wilhand reassures her that she's already done enough. Back in Whitestone, Percy continues working with Tarian to disable the orb. His first anti-magic device fails. The orb absorbs magical energy rather than rejecting it, and the experiment nearly explodes thanks to all the enchanted items present. Tarian proposes a radically different solution. Since the orb cannot simply be dispelled, they need a perpetual source capable of converting magical energy. To everyone's surprise, the answer is Doty. Tari reveals that Doty isn't merely a robot. The construct's enchanted gems make him uniquely suited for the task. Despite the risk, they activate the machine. The process works. The orb's energy is successfully overloaded and neutralized, but the victory comes at a terrible cost. Doty's systems fail completely. As his faithful companion shuts down forever, Tari realizes too late what he sacrificed. For perhaps the first time, the usually cheerful adventurer is genuinely heartbroken. He bids farewell to his sweet metal prince. Percy then confronts Vax. The conversation finally exposes the pain Vax has been hiding. Percy apologizes for marrying Vex and for the role his choices played in Vax's fate, but Vax reveals that isn't what truly hurts. He isn't angry, he's grieving. He admits he's devastated because he missed important moments in his family's life, including Vex's wedding. Worse still, he fears he'll miss countless future moments. The world may be saved, but he won't be there to see it. For the first time, Vax openly confesses that he isn't ready to die. Elsewhere in Whitestone, long simmering tension between Vex and Keyleth finally erupts. Fueled by alcohol, both women unleash months of frustration. Vex is furious that Keyleth never told her about Vax's condition. Keyleth retaliates by accusing Vex of excluding Vax from her secret wedding with Percy. Keyleth finally admits her greatest fear. She's terrified of losing the people she loves. She cannot understand why the matron burdened Vax with this fate, and she feels powerless to stop what seems inevitable. For perhaps the first time in a long while, Vex stops arguing and comforts her. She promises Keyleth that she won't be alone. Back in Westruun, Pike begins noticing disturbing signs among Gideon's followers. During a community gathering, she witnesses survivors suffering from dragon's lung, a lingering illness caused by exposure to dragon fire. Despite her healing magic, Pike is unable to fully cure one young victim. Gideon later speaks to the assembled crowd, preaching unity and faith. Then everyone recites a phrase that alarms Pike: "We are his blood." Pike recognizes the slogan. These people are members of the same cult that attacked Keyleth's coronation and infiltrated Whitestone, the Children of Truth. She and Grog immediately try to remove Wilhand from the community, but Wilhand resists. Though he doesn't fully embrace the cult's teachings, he genuinely cares about the people there. Meanwhile, Pike's question about the mysterious champion yields a surprising answer. Wilhand recognizes the description immediately. The champion was named Ezra Trickfoot. She served as a champion of the Knowing Mistress and wielding a divine weapon capable of killing even a powerful lich. After embarking on a secret mission, she vanished forever. Soon afterward, mysterious monks erased all traces of her existence. Wilhand secretly preserved one piece of evidence, a portrait. The moment Pike sees it, everything clicks into place. The weapon Ezra carried is unmistakably Withcarver, scanless vestige. The divine weapon from the ancient story still exists, and now Vox Machina knows how they may eventually kill the Whispered One. The situation then becomes even more complicated when Wilhand's dragon's lung worsens dramatically. Louisa believes the cult possesses a ritual that can cure Wilhand. Pike knows exactly what that cure really means. Louisa moves forward with the cult's ritual despite Pike's objections. The Children of Truth prepare to use Stolen Shadow Stone in an attempt to transform Wilhand. Pike and Grog fight desperately to stop them. A violent battle erupts throughout the temple. The Necro-Ninja then arrives and condemns the ritual as a corruption of sacred rites. The cultists are powerless against the Necro-Ninja. Louisa is killed and the ceremony is stopped. But Wilhand dies. Pike tries to heal him, but it's too late. Pike and Grog can do nothing but watch. The loss devastates both of them. Wilhand's funeral follows. Gideon speaks about the inevitability of death and the burdens carried by those left behind. Though Pike despises the cult, his words resonate with the reality of what they experienced. Death leaves scars. Some wounds never truly heal. All that remains are the moments shared with those we love. As Pike, Grog, and the others mourn, their grief hardens into determination. The Whispered One is responsible for much of the darkness spreading through Exandria. Now they know how to stop him. They have Mythcarver. They know the orb can be shut down, and they finally understand more of the enemy's history. When Grog asks what comes next, Pike answers they killed this bastard. The episode ends with a shocking reveal. The Necro-Ninja, whose name is Delilah Briarwood, reports to Gideon. Far from being punished, Delilah receives reassurance from him, who refers to her as his truest acolyte. He understands that her heart is distracted and instructs her to tend to her own affairs. Delilah responds with complete devotion, "I'm your blood."